This very interesting study on the life of Joseph, we find and we try to find healing through the messages of everything that happened in his life. Ang pag-aaral natin ngayon, pinamagatan natin, Joseph, love heals. We thank you, Father, for your goodness and kindness to us. May you continue to shower us with your blessings. Empower us not only to understand your word, but also to apply this in our lives. Patahimikin yung kalooban namin, Panginoon. Humihiling kami ng kapayapaan, tahimik na puso, at naway yung kapayapaan nyo maging amin. We ask you, Lord, to give us your peace, your serenity, so that we may not only survive each day, but we may also be serene and quiet enough to give comfort and peace to other people. Let your love prevail. Let your healing minister to us. In the name of your Son, Jesus, we pray. Amen. The story of Joseph happened in the 18th BC, or 1,800 years before the Lord. That means nearly 4,000 years by now. We know that at 17, Joseph was sold to Egypt. He was his father's favorite, and because of that, he earned the ire of his brothers. Nagalit sa kanya, namuhi sa kanya mga kapatid niya, dahil sobra siyang paborito ng tatay. And he was sold into slavery in Egypt, where he served very well. And he rose from just being an ordinary foreigner slave to the administrator of the household. But the lady of the house fancied him, seduced him, got rejected by him, and she cried rape. Because of that, the guy was thrown into jail, where he suffered for at least 2 years. But he continued to be very excellent, and even in prison, he became an administrator. Talaga yata na pagkamagaling ang tao, kahit sa madalin, lulutang. People that are good, who are always committed to excellence, will always shine, no matter where you put them. And so Joseph went to the high rank of being administrator of the jail. And in this very interesting prison, which was really the prison where the servants of the Pharaoh and the people close to the Pharaoh, their servants are actually imprisoned when they displease their masters. So hindi mga hardened criminals yung nandito. Ang common denominator ng mga prisoners where Joseph went to prison was naglilingkod sila sa mga royals, especially the household of the Pharaoh. And he met two interesting people, the cupbearer and the cook of the Pharaoh. And then they had dreams. And Joseph interpreted those dreams, and the interpretation happened. Sinabi niya doon sa isa, lalaya ka after 3 days. And really, on the 3rd day, Pharaoh called him and he was set free. The other person was already given the death sentence. At sabi nito si Joseph, ibulong-bulong mo naman ako sa Pharaoh, sabihin mo naman, lakarin mo naman ako kasi wala naman talaga akong kasalanan. But this guy who promised to remember him actually never remembered him in the next 2 years. But the Pharaoh had the dream, and suddenly this cupbearer remembered that there was a Hebrew back there in the prison who could interpret dreams. And the interpretation was so pleasing to the Pharaoh that he made Joseph governor. Alam natin yung kwento, pero mabuti na lang binabalik-balikan. No? Ang panaginip niya ng Pharaoh, nung in-interpret, there will be 7 years of plenty, and then followed by 7 years of famine. And because Joseph gave that very sound interpretation, the Pharaoh asked him to be governor. He said, since interpretation mo yan, you might as well implement a project that will save Egypt from hunger. At maganda yung pinlano niya. 7 years, they taxed the people 20% of their gross harvests. And they were able to have a lot of stockpile of food. And when the 7 years of famine actually happened, they were more than ready to meet the demands of the people in Egypt and also to be able to export a lot of food to the neighboring countries. So Joseph became governor. He became very prestigious. He had a very high society Egyptian wife and had 2 children. Now he was very established and one of the most distinguished personages in Egypt. Meanwhile, this hunger and famine also affected his home country. At naalala ng mga tao doon, oo nga pala, sa Egypt maraming pagkain. And so, the brothers of Joseph, who sold him into slavery, made a journey to Egypt to buy food. At doon, na-meet nila si Joseph, who was already the governor, hindi nila alam na yun ang kapatid nila. Because Joseph was speaking to them through an interpreter, wala silang idea. They were clueless. That the brother they sold to slavery, yung inapi-api nila, kinawawa nila, binatok-batukan nila na brother, was now the governor that they were kneeling to. So nalaman nitong si Joseph na yung buhay pa ang tatay niya after all those years. At yung kapatid niya na bunso, na paborito niya, ay buhay pa rin, pero naiwan dun sa Canaan, hindi kasama ng 10 magkakapatid na bibili ng grain. So he arranged that this youngest brother be brought to him. And the story continues. But what's interesting are the details of how Joseph handled himself facing his brothers who did not recognize him. So let's read on. Genesis 43. I'll be reading from the Contemporary English Version. So, sabi ni Joseph, iwan niyo muna yung isang kapatid niyo dito. Ikukulong ko dito kasi siguro spies kayo, no? Nagmamanman lang kayo dito sa aming kingdom. Pero sabi nila, hindi, buong pamilya nga po kami. May iwan pa kami bunsong kapatid doon sa bahay namin. Bueno, kunin niyo yung bunso na yun para mapatunayan ko na totoo ang kwento. Iwan niyo muna isa dito, umuwi na kayo, dali niyo yung mga grain, ibalik niyo dito yung bunso. Pag nakita kong totoo, papawalan ko na rin ito. Ang totoo, gusto lang niya makita si Benjamin. Si Benjamin kasi na bunsong kapatid ni Joseph, at si Joseph ang buong magkapatid. Jacob had 12 children by 4 women. 2 doon, asawa niya, yung isa hindi niya gusto, yung isa gusto niya. Kasi yung panganay mo na ipapakasal, so nanuyo siya ng nanuyo sa magulang, pero pinakasal mo na yung panganay, ang gusto niya yung bunso. So tsaka pala niya ngayon nakuha yung bunso. Tapos, according to the custom of the time, nagkaroon pa siya ng anak doon sa 2 maids, nung 2 magkapatid na yon. Kaya 4 na nanay ito, ang gulo, no? Yung mga iba nga sa atin, 2 yung nanay, ang gulo na eh. Ito 4. Isa yung tatay. Usually, pag maraming tatay, isang nanay, mas tahimik. No? Kasi yung nanay ang nagmamanage ng bahay. Pero pag yung tatay ang maraming iba't ibang mga asawa dyan, ang gulo-gulo ng mga anak niya, hindi na ma-manage. And this happened in this household. Now, Benjamin had the same mother as Joseph. Sila yung magkapatid ng buo. At yun yung naiwan sa tatay. Favorite kasi ni Jacob, si Benjamin at saka si Joseph. Kasi gusto niya talaga yung nanay nila, si Rachel. So, pag gusto yung nanay mo, nagiging paborito ka. This favoritism actually drove a wedge among these children, and there was horrible favoritism in this family. It was nearly a dysfunctional family, like most of the patriarchal families in the Old Testament. No? Kaya kung huwag natin silang tutularan, let us learn from their mistakes. So sabi niya, okay, dali nyo dito si Benjamin. Pag nakita ko, papawalan ko na itong isang kapatid nyo. Nung sabihin nila sa tatay niya, nalungkot na naman yung tatay. Sabi, isa na lang natira kong paborito anak dito. Paano kung mawala na naman yan tulad ni Joseph? You know the story that the brothers deceived their father? That when they sold Joseph to slavery when Joseph was 17, sabi nila, nawala, eto lang yung damit, puro dugo. And the father was led to believe that Joseph was actually slain by wild beasts. And that they couldn't find his body. So all along the father thought that Joseph was dead. But the brothers knew, at least the 10. Genesis 43, 1-2. The famine in Canaan got worse until finally Jacob's family had eaten all the grain that they had bought in Egypt. So Jacob said to his sons, go back and buy some more grain. So nakikita dito, ang lakas ng loob nilang bumili. Go back and buy some more grain. Nakabili na sila once, naiwan yung isang kapatid doon, na deposito nila until they bring Benjamin to Egypt, that brother will be imprisoned there. But naubos na rin yung binili nila. Moral lesson agad-agad, first sentences pa lang. Paano kung dumating sa family nyo ang ganitong mga needs? Meron ba kayong pambili? Do your best, brothers and sisters, to always have funds na mabubunot nyo in times of needs. Dapat marunong tayong maghanap buhay, marunong tayong mag-ipon, so that when times come, when there will be needs, meron tayong naipon at hindi natin ipinupuntirya yung naipon ng mga kamag-anak natin. O kaya yung naipon ng mga kaibigan natin. So ang lakas ng loob niya sa akin, go back and buy. It's so nice no, when you just like to buy and you have money to buy with. That's why people have to be productive. People have to work hard. and work smart so that they'll be able not only to sustain their needs, but also to produce surplus. If not for your needs, then probably for the needs of others who are close to you. Let's continue, 3-6. Judah replied, "The governor strictly warned us that we would not be allowed to see him unless we brought our youngest brother with us. If you let us take Benjamin along, we will go and buy grain, but we won't go without him." Jacob asked, "Why did you cause me so much trouble by telling the governor you had another brother?" Oo nga naman, ba't nyo pa ba ikinuwento-kwento na may isa pang natitira dito? Pinapatawag tuloy. At alam natin yun, more talk, more mistake. Pag ang tao masyadong madaldal, nasasabit lagi sa gulo. Minsan hindi na necessary ang sinasabi natin, sinasabi pa natin, napapahamak tuloy kung hindi tayo yung marami. Verse 7, they answered, "He asked a lot of questions about us and our family. He wanted to know if you were still alive and if we had any more brothers. All we could do was answer his questions. How could we know he would tell us to bring along our brother?" Oo nga naman, malay ba namin, pati yung kapatid naming nananahimik dito sa Canaan, papapuntahin pa sa Egypt. That's the point. You never know. Information you keep empowers you. Divulge information disempowers you. Pag may alam ka na nasa loob mo lang, ikaw pa ang amo ng impormasyon na yon. Pero oras na pinawalan mo na, ikaw na ang alipin. That's why we have to be very careful about what we say. What you say can get you committed and can get you into tight places. So do not talk needlessly. Genesis 43, 8-14. Then Judah said to his father, "Let Benjamin go with me, and we will leave right away so that none of us will starve to death. I promise to bring him back safely, and if I don't, you can blame me as long as I live." If we had not wasted all this time, we could have already been there and back twice. Their father said, "If Benjamin must go with you, take the governor a gift of some of the best things from our country, such as perfume, honey, spices, pistachio nuts, and almonds. Also take along twice the amount of money for the grain, because there must have been some mistake when the money was put back in your sacks. Take Benjamin with you and leave right away. When you go in to see the governor, I pray that God all-powerful will be good to you, and that the governor will let your other brother and Benjamin come back home with you. If I must lose my children, I suppose I must." Jacob was already advanced in years. He was already quite old. And he was still nurturing this pain in his heart because he lost his favorite son. Hindi rin siya siguro sobrang naniwala na wild animals kasi ayaw niyang pagtiwalaan itong mga iba niyang anak eh. Kasi may duda rin siguro siya na pahamak itong si Joseph because of these brothers. At ayaw niya ipagkatiwala. Sabi niya, "The only son I have left." Grabe rin ang favoritism nitong si Jacob that he could say that, no? Sabi niya, pag si Benjamin wala pa, ikakamatay ko na yung lungkot na yan. Sabi niya, sige, magdala kayo ng mga regalo. Parang si Esther, naalala natin, sabi niya, "If I perish, then I perish. I'll just do what I must." There is this resignation, this faith in the Lord that was operationalized in facing a very, very grave threat. So sabi nitong si Jacob, "If I must lose my children, then I suppose I must. So let's do what must be done. Take Benjamin with you." Pero sabi niya, don't forget to bring gifts as a sign of respect. Isa rin yan na very, very mild form of a bribe. Magregalo kayo. Ang magtataka ka naman dito sa tatay na to, yung mga 10 anak niya, nung pinadala niyo una, wala siyang pangregalo. No? Pero ngayong ang dala-dala na, itong si Benjamin, may pangregalo to soften the heart of the governor. Proverbs 17:8, "A bribe works miracles, like a magic charm that brings good luck." Yung mga pagre-regalo, yung mga pagiging thoughtful, marami yan talaga na ibibigay at na idudulot sa iyo na advantage. Be good at gift giving. Be a giver. Huwag niyo lang ito twist yung justice. No? Pero kung gusto nilang magkaroon ng positive disposition towards you, to be more open to you and kinder to you, why not bring a gift? No? Be nice to people. But Jacob say, pay, but to bring twice as much money. Nung nakaraang mga kwento, matapos silang bumili ng mga grain sa Egypt, pag uwi nila, nakita nila, lahat ng perang ibinayad nila, bawat sako, nandun uli yung pera sa loob kasi pinasoli ni Joseph. Ganun siya ka-loving. But they did not know that Joseph was their brother. They did not know that Joseph was behind it. So sabi ng tatay nila, isolin nyo yung mga pera na dapat nasa kanila na, but nauiwin nyo pa, pambayad nyo na yan eh. So bring twice as much money to return the money that should have already been theirs and then to purchase new supply. They were very honest people. And they wanted to do things quite correctly. Verses 15 to 18. The brothers took the gifts, twice the amount of money, and Benjamin. Then they hurried off to Egypt. When they stood in front of Joseph, he saw Benjamin and told the servant in charge of his house, take this man to my house, slaughter an animal and cook it so they can eat with me at noon. The servant did as he was told and took the brothers to Joseph's house. But on the way they got worried and started thinking, we are being taken there because of the money that was put back in our sacks last time. He will arrest us, make us his slaves, and take our donkeys. These brothers were paranoid. Sabi nila yung magnanakaw daw, galit sa kapwa magnanakaw. Palibasa, ang dami nilang ginawang dirty tricks nung araw. Ngayon, iniisip nila, sila naman yung gagantihan ng tadhana. As they say, evil men run though no one chases them. Kaya yung mga lalaking sobrang babaero, ano din yan? Mga lagi na lamang may duda sa mga sarili nilang asawa. Yung mga lalaking napakaraming mga naging girlfriend na pinagsamantalahan, ang hihigpit ngayon sa mga daughters nila at iniisip nila lahat ng lalaki sa balat ng lupa tulad nila. So, ganun. Pagka marami kang atraso sa mundo, hindi ka matahimik. Sila ganun. You can imagine that their devils were torturing them. Imagine what they did to their brother. Sold a brother into slavery and then told their father that he died and showed them this jacket of Joseph. They dipped in goat's blood, and the father was grieving all his life for a favorite son he thought to have died. Mabigat na dala yun. Mga kapatid, huwag kayong gagawa ng anumang bagay na pagmumultuhan kayo buong buhay. Especially harming somebody who is permanently related to you, like spouse or the parent of your children, or your parents or your brothers and sisters. We should not do anything wrong to anybody, but especially to people who are close to us. Because you will have to live with it all your life. Lagi mo silang makakasama. Kung hindi mo sila kasambahay, magkikita-kita sa lahat ng libing, lahat ng lamay, lahat ng kasalan, lahat ng family reunion. At lagi mong maaalala yung mga atraso na yan. They will always cause a lot of friction. And if not friction, it will cause a lot of discomfort. It is foolishness to harm anybody, but it's double foolishness to harm our relatives and our family members, because these are permanent relations. Like, you cannot do anything to erase it. It's there. Kaya maganda itong mga storya nila David, bagamat mahaba akong binabasa, pero maraming lesson para sa atin. These lessons in family life. These lessons on how to deal with brothers. How do you deal with brothers who have sold you to slavery? Yan yung dilemma ni Joseph. Now that you're powerful, you're governor of Egypt, and they come to you almost begging because they're going hungry, what will you do if you were powerful like him? At ikaw naman, if you have done something so wrong to your brother and also against your father, how will you live with it? Marami sa atin hanggang ngayon nabubuhay sa guilt kasi may nagawa tayong mali nun pa. Minsan nalilimutan mo pag may party, pagka may masaya, may kwentuhan, pero naaalala mo rin madalas. How do you deal with that? That's why we like this story, because we can learn a lot from how these people really moved about and what they did and they did not do. Maraming leksyon itong pamilya na to. Kaya subaybayan nyo, kahit saan ko i-preach yung mga ibang chapter, sumunod kayo para nyo mabuo. Kasi, hiniisa-isa kong chapter, it's a very beautiful story. So finally, nakita na ni Joseph yung kanyang kapatid. No? At least, 13 years had passed. At least. Matagal din. Hindi na nila nakita yung kilala yung kapatid nila. Genesis 43:19-22. So when they arrived at Joseph's house, they said to the servant in charge, "Sir, we came to Egypt once before to buy grain, but when we stopped for the night, we found in our grain sacks the exact amount we had paid. We have brought the money back, together with enough money to buy more grain. We don't know who put the money in our sacks." Magaling sila, inunahan nila yung servant. Kesa sila pa yung maunahan na, kayo ha, dinala nyo rin yung binayad nyo. Inunahan na nila. Hindi naman namin dinala, nagtaka lang kami, bakit nandun na naman sa loob ng mga sako namin yung pera na ibinayad namin doon sa grain. Timing is important. Nasubukan nyo na ba sa buhay nyo yan? Naunahan kayo. May sasabihin sana kayo, naunahan kayo. Nagmukha tuloy na kaya nyo lang sinasabi ngayon dahil nabisto na kayo. Mahalaga yung timing. And sometimes we have to preempt the opposition so that our truth can be established even before it is brought out by someone else. Genesis 43:23. "It's all right," the servant replied. "Don't worry. The God you and your father worship must have put the money there, because I received your payment in full." Then he brought Simeon out to them. Si Simeon yung naging deposito. May iwan dito yung brother nyo, mag-uwi ang kayo, bring the grain, and when you bring the youngest back, I'm going to release this one and also give you back your youngest brother. Apparently, the chief of staff is in the know. Alam niya yung nangyayari, alam niya yung ginagawa ni Joseph sa kanyang mga kapatid. Genesis 43:24-25. "The servant took them into Joseph's house and gave them water to wash their feet. He also tended their donkeys. The brothers got their gifts ready to give to Joseph at noon, since they had heard that they were going to eat there." So they got a VIP reception. Mapalad kayo pag may mga kapatid kayo na nagiging successful, no? Kahit wala kang ginawa sa buhay, kakaroon ka ng VIP reception. Be thankful when you have a brother who makes it big. But when it does happen, bring him honor, not dishonor. Isa yan sa mga pinakamahirap na challenges sa third world country, so-called, tulad ng Pilipinas, no? Magsisikap ang isang member ng family, aasenso siya, yayaman, sisikat, tapos lahat ng kamag-anak niya, jologs. Yung dadali niya sa kainan, hindi mga marunong gumamit ng mga kutsara at tinidor. Magpa-party siya, mali-mali ang damit. Kaya tuloy pag magpa-party ka, bibihisan mo pa lahat yung mga kamag-anak mo para maging tama lang yung gagawin. Tapos kung ano-anong pagkakalatang ginagawa nila. Pag meron tayong kamag-anak, mahal sa buhay, kapatid na umaasenso, sabayan naman natin. Habulin kahit konti, para wag naman tayong ikahiya. O kung hindi man tayo ikahiya, wag naman natin siyang ipahiya. Bihirang-bihira yung family na may asenso na sikat na miyembro, tas lahat sila pare-parehong accomplished. Usually siya lang yun. Tapos siya lahat yung nagtataguyod sa lahat, siya lahat yung taya, siya lahat yung tagagastos. Mahirap umasenso pag marami kang bibit-bitin na mga pabigat. Kaya napakabait nitong si Joseph, ibang klase. In spite of what his brothers had done to him, he was very caring and tender, though he had not revealed himself to them yet. Pag lalo tayo galing sa isang mahirap na background, make something of yourself. So you can give your brothers a treat. So that you could hold your parents by the arm in their old age and assure them of comfort, of medication, of company, of provision. Lalong-lalo kung tayo naliligid ng mga kamag-anak na hindi naman sila umaasenso. Yan talaga ang isang challenge na unique to countries and cultures like ours. Hindi naman kasi uso sa atin yung sumikat ka, yung maman ka, kalimutan mo na lahat yung mga kamag-anak mo eh. Kaya napakahalaga yung pananagutan ng mga kamag-anak na meron pa yung sikat na mga kapatid o pinsan. Help them, help them improve their public persona instead of destroying the image that they have built over the years. It's a great challenge. We don't know specifically how these brothers behaved But evidently, the gap between them and their brother has gone so wide that it was very, very difficult to handle the situation. Genesis 43, 26 to 30. When Joseph came home, they gave him the gifts that they had brought, and they bowed down to him. This is the dream. If you're familiar with the background, nung bata pa si Joseph, sabi niya, I had a dream. Ako ay isang parang bunch of straws of grain. Tapos kayo, mga bunches din, and you all bowed down to me. Kaya nagalit yung mga kapatid niya eh. Sabi niya, ang yabang-yabang mo. Ang bata-bata mo, kami pa yung magbabaw sa'yo. But it happened. After Joseph had asked how they were, he said, what about your elderly father? Is he still alive? They answered, your servant, our father, is still alive and well. And again, they bowed down to Joseph. Si Joseph, wala nang ginawa kundi kumustahin yung tatay at yung kapatid. Hindi pa rin makahalata itong magkakapatid na to na baka si Joseph yon. Kasi syempre naman, itinapon mo, slave, bakit nga naman magiging governor? No? Wala silang kaklu-klu, pero itong governor was very interested in their personal family life. When Joseph looked around and saw his brother Benjamin, he said, this must be your youngest brother, the one you told me about. God bless you, my son. Right away, he rushed off to his room and cried because of his love for Benjamin. Gusto niya sigurong kantahin. Yan yung magkapatid na buo eh. Di ba? Talagang madramatic. The governor could not hold his tears. He ran into a private room and shed his tears there. Talaga humagulgol. Imagine nyo yung mga luhang inipon mo ng napakaraming taon. Yung mga sama ng loob na hindi mo na ibulalas. Yung pananabik mo sa kapatid mo that your arms ache to embrace him. Then all of a sudden he's there and you could not even do what your heart tells you to do. Moral lesson, lalo sa mga macho, cry. Cry when you feel like. It's good for you. It could save your life. Bakit ba unang namamatay ang mga lalaki kaysa mga babae kadalasan? Diba? Because in our culture and in many cultures around the world, boys are forbidden to cry. Kung iyak, lalaki ka. Kaya ikaw naman, galit na yung panga mo, talagang gusto mo lang sumabog, nagpapakaganyan ka pa yan, bloom, namatay ka na lang, heart attack. No? Mabuting umiiyak kasi according to studies, the lacrimal glands collect toxins from your blood, from your body, from your muscles, and then bring them out through the tears. There are laboratory studies of tears, ando lahat yung toxins ng katawan. You notice this, when you have a good cry, sino sa inyo dito mga palaiyak? Huwag na kayo magtaas ng kamay. Kilala nyo na sa sarili nyo. Pagkatapos yung magngangalgal sa gabi, di ba? Ang sarap matulog. Himbing na himbing ang nag-iiyak. It is one art, one skill that many men have to relearn, to cry. The best men in the Bible cried at the right moments. Here, Joseph cries. You know, even the Lord Jesus wept. There's nothing shameful about crying. Basta tama lang sa lugar. At hindi sana naman sa mga soap opera na ang tatay mo nag-iiyak sa harap ng TV dahil naaapi si Maricel Soriano. So, but here you see that love really is great. Mapalad yung marunong magmahal. Sino mas mapalad dito? Yung mga kapatid o yung si Joseph? Joseph was full of love. Sa biglang tingin siya yung naapi, pero hindi naman talaga siya ipinaapi ng Diyos. Kung sinubaybayan nyo yung kwento ni Joseph, we never find him bitter. He only got better. He had all the reasons to be bitter. You were the favorite of your father. You have this multicolored jacket. And then suddenly you're abducted by your own brothers, thrown into a dry well. And if that was not enough, you are sold into slavery in some foreign land at 17. Okay, so you become a slave. Instead of brooding, instead of being angry with the world, sa halip siya mag-drugs o maglasing o magrebelde, he worked very well. He was noticed. In no time at all, he was the administrator of one of the great houses in Egypt. He was trained to deal with aristocracy, with the nobility. He was trained on the finer points of housekeeping, of serving at tables. He was really being prepared for greatness. Pero hindi niya halata yun nun kasi he was just a slave. And then after having been a good slave, the lady of the house fancies him, this good girl with bad habits, no? Suddenly would gaze upon him and ask him, go to bed with me. Joseph refused. He was all 27 when that happened. You know, katanghali ang tapat ng buhay mo, kainitan ng iyong dugo. Heto itong babae na amoy lotus. Siyempre, yun ang pabango doon, mga katas ng lotus. Ano pa kaya? At laging painted and made up, these Egyptian women. Tapos wala naman lagi yung asawa, laging may duty because he was a captain of the Pharaoh's guard. It was so convenient. And Joseph would say no all the time. And for saying no, he got into jail. The woman said, gusto niya ako i-rape. Hindi naman siguro naniwala yung asawa kasi kung talaga naniwala, ipinapatay na ni Joseph agad-agad. Pinakulong lang. No? Baka may track record si Mrs. Potiphar. Kaya medyo pinagbigyan lang, kinulong si Joseph, hindi naman pinatay. Pero ikaw, for having been a good employee, may kukulong ka, dapat punong-puno ka na ng bitterness. Diba? Pero hindi pa rin gano'n na nangyari. Nagsikap siya na maging mabuti doon sa preso. Naging administrador na naman doon. Tapos ngayon naging governor of Egypt. Pero at any stage in his life, kung ang pinairal niya mga kapatid, bitterness, anger, hatred, he would have not gone far. Because anger is like acid. It destroys its container more than the person for whom it is being stored. Anger will destroy you. Masisira yung diskarte mo sa buhay. Magagalit ka, mawawala pa yung blessing ni Lord. So, napakabuti ng kalagayan ni Joseph. Hindi kasi siya nagtanim. Ba't natin pinag-aaralan? Because there's a Joseph in each one of us. Lahat tayo nakaranas siguro na ma-ignore, maapi, at various degrees. We suffer injustice. Gumagawa tayo ng mabuti, pangit pa yung sinusukli sa atin ng mga tao. Learn from Joseph. Don't be bitter. Keep getting better. Yung nagagalit, yung nagtatanim ng galit, yung namumuhi, talo. One, the favor from the Lord leaves you. Genesis 43, 32 to 34. Joseph was served at a table by himself, and his brothers were served at another. The Egyptians sat at yet another table because Egyptians felt it was disgusting to eat with Hebrews. To the surprise of Joseph's brothers, they were seated in front of him according to their ages, from the oldest to the youngest. They were served food from Joseph's table, and Benjamin was given 5 times as much as each of the others. So Joseph's brothers drank with him and had a good time. Talagang mga mapapalad na kapatid. Here, love prevailed over anger. At nagpaparamdam si Joseph. Medyo pasaway ditong Joseph na to no? In-arrange niya yung mga kapatid niya, ang seating arrangement according to age. Parang si Gloria Diaz nung lumaban sa Miss Universe noong 1969. Natatandaan nyo? Marami kasi siyang kapatid, 10 or 12 yata. Tinanong nung MC, Miss Philippines, you have 10 or 12 brothers and sisters. Can you name them all now? Alam niyo sabi ni Gloria Diaz? Alphabetically or by age. Nawala ng poise yung MC. Sabi niya, any which way you like, Miss Philippines. So ito naman, inayos niya by age. Nagtataka yung mga tao, ba't ganito yung arrangement namin? It was Joseph. No? His sense of humor. So Joseph was able to do good to his brothers because of his love. Meron ba kayong mga kapatid? Ang tanong, mahal niyo ba? Yung pagka nakita nyo, matagal nyo hindi nakita, nakita nyo doon, yung mapapaiyak ba kaya kayo? Kung minsan, pag nakakita ka ng mga magkakapatid na sobrang magmahalan, halos mainggit ka kasi ang sarap. No? Pero syempre, may premium yung pagmamahal. May cost yan. But it's always nice to love our family members. His love empowered him to forgive them even before they met Him face to face. Nung unang dumating sa Egypt ang magkakapatid na ito, hindi natin alam kung sinasadya ni Joseph yon, pero maaring nabigla din siya. Pero bakit hindi siya naghiganti? Kasi matagal na niyang pinatawad. Kayo ba may galit sa mga kapatid niyo na hanggang ngayon daladala niyo pa? Bakit? Kasi nung high school, kayo dapat ang muse ng basketball team, tapos siya yung nakuha. Tapos galit ka sa sister mo all your life. Huh? O kaya yung isang kapatid mo, laging paborito ng nanay mo. Pag meron kayong bangus, kanya yung tiyan, sa'yo yung palikpik. Hindi ba may mga nanay na abnormal, gano'n, sobrang may favoritism? Yung obvious na obvious. Tapos yung kanyang kobre kama, canon, sa'yo bimeg feeds. Dahil may poultry kayo. Ang dami natin kanya experiences. Dala nyo pa ba hanggang ngayon? Kasi kung dala nyo pa, dinala kayo dito ni Lord, kasi iwan nyo na yung dapat dito. You must get on with life. Hindi kayo pwedeng mabuhay na merong itinatanim na galit sa sarili nyong dugo. Maapektuhan yan. Pag magkakaaway kayo magkakapatid, pati mga anak nyo at anak nila, yung magpipinsan, sila man, mamanahin nila yung mga gulo na yan. Hindi na matatapos. Generational rifts. We've got to end this. The Lord wants you to be healed. That's why we're going back to this 4,000-year-old story. Kasi ang katotohanan niya hanggang ngayon, totoo pa rin. May mga magulang talaga na hindi marunong magpalaki ng anak. Ngayon, kung kayo yung naging victim ng favoritism, anong gagawin nyo? Magagalit kayo all your life and continue to be victimized? Or you will set yourself free? You will say, okay, that was wrong, the way my parents acted, but I cannot live in the shadow of that mistake. I'll have to get out of that shadow. And the only way to get out of that shadow is to forgive. It's the only way. You may choose not to forgive. Mahirap naman kasi magpatawad. Kaya lang, alam nyo, merong mas mahirap, yung hindi magpatawad. Hirap din lang at hirap, doon na kayo mahirapan sa tama. It takes a lot of work to forgive, but it also takes a lot of work not to forgive. So if you're going to be tired working, work towards the right direction. Forgive. Ask God to give you the grace. O ngayon, baka may mga magulang naman dito, kayo itong mga pasaway na nanay at tatay. May mga paborito, halatang halata. Bakit mo paborito yung anak mo? Kasi pareho lang kayong may nonal sa noo. Di ba ganyan yung mga magulang, yung mga medyo kamukha mo yung anak na yon, yung pareho kayo ng ugali, sobrang paborito mo na. Now, alam ko, sa loob ng puso ng magulang, lalo't marami anak, hindi mo maiwasan, may itinatangi ka talaga. Huwag mo namang gawing obvious. Kasi may iba ka pang anak. At pag ginawa mo yan obvious, you will destroy those who are not your favorite. You will also destroy your favorite because you would have spoiled this person, and you will destroy your relationship with all your other children. Everybody loses. Pag ginawa ka ng Diyos sa magulang, may assignment ka. Mahalin mo lahat ng anak mo. Huwag ka magtatangi. Ngayon, paano kung iisa yung anak mo? Ilapit mo dapat yan sa mga pinsan. Mayaman ka man o hindi, whether you are rich, and especially if you're not, our family is still our best social security. Kaya iba na yung malapit. Kaya kung isa yung anak mo, you should invent events para sila magpipinsan, nagbabakasyon together, nagbibiyahe, kumakain together, para sila yung para magkakapatid. Kasi darating ang panahon when the generation of the parents become old, and when they die off one by one, who's left to face all the challenges of the world? Ito magkakapatid o magpipinsan. Pananagutan natin at pribilehiyo ng mga magulang na palaki ng mga anak natin kasama ang mga kapatid nila at mga pinsan na nagmamahalan sila at nagtutulungan. Sabi nga ni Balagtas, sapagkat ang mundo'y bayan ang hinagpis, mamamaya'y sukat ni bayan ang dibdib. Kailangan marami kang karamay. Relatives and friends divide our sorrow and they multiply our joy. So meron tayong pananagutan din sa isa't isa. Mahalaga yun. Sa sandali lang tayo mabubuhay sa mundo. How long will you live on earth? 90? 95? 100? What is that? It's very short. And it's made even shorter when we're angry. Yung mga tawang hindi natin naitawa, mga regalong hindi natin naibigay o natanggap, mga parting hindi natin napuntahan o hindi natin inorganize, bawas lahat yon sa quality of our life. Kaya mahalaga, marunong ka magpatawad. So balik tayo, sino kaya dito yung mga biktima ng favoritism? Magpatawad na kayo ngayon. Tama na. Nahirapan na kayo, baka nakaganti na kayo, nakapag-ignore na kayo, it's enough. Vengeance is the Lord's, not ours. At hindi lang yon, kung kayo naman yung naging paborito, mag-make up naman kayo doon sa mga kapatid nyo na sobrang nalugi dahil kayo na lang lagi ang paborito ng magulang ninyo. Ipakita nyo rin na hindi nyo naman yung kayo sang-ayon doon sa naging favoritism na yon. Show your other brothers and sisters that you are not totally in agreement with the way your parent or parents have been mistreating them para maipakita nyo yung love ninyo. At kung kayo yung magulang, review the way you deal with your children. Favoritism destroys many people. Ang mga bata kasi wala silang ambisyon kundi ipakita sa magulang yung accomplishment nila eh. Kaya nakakatawid lang ng konti, look ma, look pa. Pero pagka hindi ka nakakaganon kasi ayaw kang tingnan ng nanay mo. Diba? Lagi na lang ang paborito niya ang tinitingnan niya, it destroys people. And once you are destroyed at childhood, usually you are scarred for life. But let's thank the Lord because of the blood of Jesus, we can have renewal. We can become a new person. Anyone who is in Christ is a new creation. He is a new person. The old is gone. The new has come. That when we accept Jesus into our lives, things change. We begin a new life. And therefore, you begin by forgiving. And then you get on by loving and loving more. Para yung buhay natin, makabawi tayo sa mga kulang. Yun ang so far, ang matututunan natin sa hindi pa tapos na kwento na ito. Hatred, anger, and bitterness afflict all of us. Love heals. Kaya mahalaga, tinuturuan natin yung mga magkakapatid to love one another. Alam niyo kung anong pinakamabuti yung maipapamana sa inyong mga anak? Yung sila nagmamahalan. Kasi mga material na pinapamana natin, it's not always a guarantee. In fact, kahit marami nun, it doesn't guarantee that they'll be happy. But one thing is sure in life, people will face problems. These young people who get married, some of them will separate, some of them will divorce, some of them will quarrel with their husbands and wives all their lives. And who do they run to if they don't have a brother or a sister or a cousin or a friend? Kung hindi natin sila naturoang makipagkapwa, makipagmabutihan, sinong dadamay sa kanila sa mga panahon na yun? O ang bait-bait ng napangasawa mo pero biglang namatay, nabiyuda ka bigla, sino ka na makakapitan mo habang may libing? Ang mga kuya mo, mga ate mo, mga anak mo rin. Kung naliligo ka ba sa isang swimming pool, bubuhusan mo yun ng poison yun? No, because you swim in that water. But many people poison their own homes with favoritism, with unfaithfulness, infidelity, with unkindness. But this is your home. And no matter what, kahit sa ka man makarating sa buhay mo, yun at yun ang uuwian mong tahanan. So mahalaga, inaayos natin yung family life. Learn from this dysfunctional family. Parents, teach and train your children to love each other. It's one of the greatest legacies that you can give them. And then, as we have said, if you have only one child, connect your solo child to his or her cousins. Or make sure that you guide them to have great and good friendships. It's important to be surrounded by people who are supportive and also people that we support. Elders, model love. Pausuhin ang love sa family. Lalo yung mga elder brothers and sisters, pag naging selfish kayo, naging makasarili, you model selfishness and you model greed, the younger brothers and sisters will copy that. Kaya ang ganda, napakapalad kayo pag ate, kuya, yung mga naunang mga kapatid, ang babae, they set the tone how the family will live. Marami sa atin mga potential maging Joseph. Be good, be excellent, so that you can save your family from hunger and need. Hindi naman ipinadala ng Diyos si Joseph para lang siya ang mag-enjoy mag-isa sa Egypt eh. Pinadala siya doon para kung napatibay na niya yung sarili niya, tutulungan niya yung kanyang mga kamag-anak na nagugutom sa Canaan. Hindi tayo umaasenso para lang sa sarili. Hindi tayo yumayaman o sumisikat para lang sarilinin yung mga benepisyo noon. Mayroon din tayong misyon, mga kapatid natin, mga mahal natin sa buhay. Ngayon, ang dapat nasabihan niyan, yung mga nagsasucceed, hindi yung mga lagi nangihingi na, Kuya, may misyon ka, kaya ka nagsucceed. Hindi ganun. Ang dapat nagsasabi nun yung kuya, mission ko kayo, binovolunteer niya. Pero yung humihingi, wala kayong karapatang sabihin yun. Para nyo i-blackmail yung mga nagsucceed na duty niya ngayon na angatin kayo. As I have said, ang hirap umasenso sa bayan na to kasi ang daming hihila sa iyo pababa. And usually kamag-anak mo yun. Pag meron kayong matagumpay na kapatid, be thankful and respect members of your family who have distinguished themselves. Meron kasi mga pinsan, pag sumikat ka, kapatid, naging sikat ka, gusto nila ibalik ka doon sa childhood na pantay-pantay lang kayo. Kaya di ba sa pamilya, tuwang-tuwa tayo na, alam mo, kahit sumikat yan, hindi siya nagbago. Pwede bang hindi magbago ang tao? People change. And if you really love somebody, you will respect that change. Sabi mo, ang arte-arte naman tong pinsan ko na to, naging governor lang, appointment pa tayo ngayon. Natural. Kahit kamag-anak ka, makipag-appointment ka, igalang mo yung bago niyang status. Hindi pinipilit mo siyang ibalik na, di ba? Nung araw, naglalaro lang tayo. Nung araw yon, nung wala ka pa na-accomplish, ako meron na. Gusto mo ibalik sa dati para tabla lang. Paano magiging tabla? Wala naman nangyari sa'yo. Sa akin, nagsikap ako, nangyari. Respect the achievement. Huwag niyong babaliwalain. Dahil gano'n na mga kamag-anak, nung araw, mahirap lang yung mga pinapautang lang namin. Nung araw yon. At minsan ka lang napautang niyan, pag sumikat ka na, buong buhay maniningil. Wala nila yung aalalahanin. They pull you down. So mga kapatid, kung meron kayong mga kaibigan dati kakilala, tapos naging star, naging sikat, naging mayaman, igalang nyo yung kanyang status. Kung gusto niyo mag-volunteer na bubaba mula sa kanyang tore at puntahan ka, yakapin ka sa harap ng lahat, okay lang. Pero kung hindi, don't jump into his presence and say, remember me? Alam niyo ba yun? Yung hindi niyo nakikita ang tagal-tagal, biglang tatalon, remember me? Ikaw ngayon, ano kayang pagsisinungaling ang gagawin ko para hindi ito ma-embarrass? No? Hayaan niyo siya mag-volunteer. Respect achievement. Help and encourage and contribute to his or her continuing success. So all in all, let love, not hate, win. Meron ba kayong hinanakit sa magulang nyo? Sa mga kapatid? We will pray. I like you to surrender that to the Lord right now. Ikaw din ang lugi pag langi mo yung dala. Baka meron tayong practices that are unfair in our family. Correct it from here on. The only way to benefit from a bitter family past is to forgive, to let go, to live again, and to be better. Yung tapos na hindi na may ibabalik kahit anong gawin natin. Yung hindi pa mangyayari, may power pa tayo para ma-shape the way we like it. It's very important. Itong family na to was being